Hi, John Devney, Senior Vice President of Delta Waterfowl, coming to you from central North Dakota in early April. It's that time of year. This wetland just thawed out in the last couple days. The ducks are coming back. And just to double back, we talked here, last time we visited, we talked about the importance of these small wetlands and what it means to breeding ducks. Just a reminder, the reason these small wetlands are so important is because it increases the carrying capacity of the habitat. Lots of small wetlands means lots of high densities of breeding ducks. Remember the analogy, 10 one-acre wetlands will support 10 times as many ducks as one 10-acre wetland. And it's little itty-bitty wetlands that do that for us. The other thing about these little wetlands is this wetland is really shallow and it's the first to thaw. That gives nesting females the access to high protein invertebrates that they need to lay eggs. And then later in the year, if we have a really wet year and this wetland stays wet, this will be important brood habitat, lots of escape cover around the edges for ducklings to duck into. And we know that high duckling survival happens when these types of wetlands are available to ducks in June and July. When we think about these small wetlands at Delta, we're thinking about how are we going to conserve these small wetlands at scale? Well, one of the most important things to think about is this particular wetland is on private land in central North Dakota. Over 90% of the wetlands that we care about are on small working farms and ranches. And as you can imagine, if you're a farmer farming this grain field behind us, you'd probably just as soon be farming this as see it wet. And believe it or not, just to my left here, is a road ditch that easily this farmer could cut a ditch, drain this wetland into that ditch. That means no breeding ducks here next year or the year after, even if we have great water conditions. So what we're always thinking about at Delta, going back to our history with Adopt a Pothole and Alice, and more recently in Working Wetlands and Grow, is how do we come up with large-scale solutions to compensate farmers for these wetlands, to show that they have value. Now, most farmers on the prairies, or a lot of farmers on the prairies, will tell you these wetlands are a pain in their butt. Farmers will often drain the small, valuable wetlands into the large wetlands. This consolidation drainage really hurts duck production. They cost them money, they cost them seeds, they reduce their seedable acres, and it's a problem. They perceive them to be a liability. What Delta's always tried to do is flip that and find a means to compensate farmers for these small wetlands to demonstrate that they have value. And guess what? When farmers do that, when you provide that opportunity to a farmer, by and large, they sort of understand that these now have value to my operation where they previously were a liability. So most recently with Working Wetlands, we piloted an idea here in North Dakota that we hope to scale up to the federal farm bill. Now, we were successful in that, and hopefully we're days or weeks away from NRCS sort of rolling out that announcement and starting the process of conserving a pile of these small wetlands across the U.S. prairie pothole region. That authority provided by the Farm Bill gives NRCS a great deal of latitude to do this at big scales in North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, and Montana. And then north into Manitoba, Jim Fisher's done excellent work to work with the Manitoba government, and they've made a commitment to use the kind of tools and approaches that Delta's been talking about, term, voluntary, incentive-based programs to conserve 90% of Manitoba's ephemeral and temporary wetlands. Those are the kind of things we're hoping to achieve with the habitat work at Delta, and we're looking forward to bright days ahead and lots of vital wetlands conserved for breeding ducks.